Okay. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Professor Sweeter here. Thought I'd check in with you, see how things are going, and give you a little bit of background information. I'm laughing because every time I sit down to record you a video, some sort of noise happens. And true to form, two humongous cable trucks just rolled by the house. And it's nice. I've got all the doors and windows open. So it's like, come on, guys, really? It's like they're waiting for me. So anyway, I hope you are all doing well. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful September Monday and just hanging on to the nice weather as much as you can. I am a self-proclaimed beach girl, and I did spend yesterday at the beach, and it was just what I needed, although it's probably the last time I'm going to the beach, at least in 2020, which just breaks my heart. So let's talk about interpersonal communications. There's a lot going on. Last week was our first week. It's always a little bit hectic that first week. And so it's helpful to check in and talk to you a little bit about what to expect during the second week. And also, quite honestly, just to cover some of the things that I might have forgotten in that first week. So if you humor me for a few minutes, that is exactly what I'm going to do for you here. All right. So first of all, what I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit about this week in interpersonal communication. So right now you're looking at my screen and we are in Blackboard. And you can see right here that week 2 has appeared. It's magic. All the weeks are there. You just can't see them yet. And they will appear as the course progresses. All right. So here you are in the week 2 folder. First of all, we have the overview. And as it says at the top, we're diving into chapter 1 for an overview of interpersonal communication. So that's what you can expect this week in both the textbook and in MindTap, that we're focusing on interpersonal communications just as a whole. We're getting to the foundations of it. Some things that you'll talk about this week in class include just the whole process of communications, you know, having a one-person conversation versus an interactive conversation, looking again at those 5 principles of communication. I know for last week, you found me an artifact and then you connected it to principles of communication. And so we're going to be really looking at that more closely this week and have a more solid idea of what that means, those principles of communication. All right, we're diving into chapter 1 of MindTap, and I'll show you MindTap in just a moment. And as I scroll down in the folder, you can see multimedia. And I do want to highlight for you this first link here, chapter 1, interpersonal communication overview. That is a chapter right there. When I click on it, it's going to bring me directly to MindTap, and you'll be able to see that in just a second. Just for the record, every time you see this little icon, Cengage describes it as pieces of paper flying through the air, which that's a pretty good description. So every time you see that link, what you know is it's going to connect you to MindTap. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Please remember for MindTap that you need to have your pop-ups enabled on your browser, so you can see right away I've got a second tab opening up. Always takes a hot minute for Cengage to load, and immediately what you see, let's move this down. Immediately what you see here is we are in chapter 1 of the textbook. Whoops, and we'll move that back up again. All right, interpersonal communications overview. Do want to point out a few things. What I like about the online textbook is the fact that you can just go ahead and click on things and be directed to exactly what it said there. So that's something that I always really appreciate. You can also go up here to the left. There's a hamburger menu. It brings you back to the beginning of the chapter. And it's just a great way to navigate pretty quickly with online textbooks. Let's be honest here. Should you read the textbook word for word? Between you and me, I don't think you have time to do that because you're adults, you're busy, you're professionals, you've got families and other stuff going on. So I'm certain that you're not necessarily reading everything word for word, but I do want to remind you that it's important to skim information too, okay? It's really, really helpful to skim. So you can say, okay, there's models of communication, there are multiple models, and then click right here. All right, let's look at the linear model. Let's look at the transactional model. And so use those links to your advantage when you're reading the textbook. All right. I'm going to back out of the textbook for just a second so you can see some of the other things you're responsible for. So I'm closing that. And I know that your version of the MindTap and my version look very different. You have this lovely navy blue on the left, but I think you guys get the idea. Part 1, Chapter 1 has a number of different assignments that you're responsible for. So Chapter 1, Getting Started, is an activity that many of you have started already. The reading we just looked at. You have a video activity where you're going to click on this. It's going to bring you to an activity. You'll be watching a short video. This one in particular has to do with the adventures of Lucy and her family on Thanksgiving. And I'm not sure if you can hear that right now. I don't think I've shared my sound right now. But you can see here's Lucy and she's talking and blah, blah, blah. And as you move through the whole video, I'm hoping it'll work in my case here, but as you move through the whole video, questions are going to appear, all right? And make sure that you scroll down and you answer them because there's generally 3 questions for each assignment. When you're done, hit submit for grading and I'll get a notification to grade it. Another assignment that you're responsible for is the quiz. And I'm going to tell you with these quizzes, between you and me, they're very, very nitpicky. They are always going to be 10 questions, they're always going to be multiple choice. And this is a mistake I see right here. It says first and final take of this assignment. I need to fix it on my end, but I want you guys to know that you have multiple attempts, in fact, unlimited attempts to take the quizzes. I do want you to take quizzes as many times as possible. I want you to get a 100 on those quizzes because it's a better assessment of what you know. It's a better opportunity for you to practice it. So if you took the quiz and you got a lousy grade and you're not happy with it, please go back and redo it. And if it won't let you redo it, email me or text me immediately and I will fix that for you. Like I'm going to fix this one for you. All right. So that's MindTap. That's what you're responsible for in MindTap. And below that, you can see chapters 2 and 3 for next week and the week after. I'm going to navigate back to Blackboard here. And just so you can see where we are, whoops. Learning outcomes, summary of unit activities, multimedia is where I left you. Here is the chapter we looked at. These are some PowerPoints for you to learn a little bit more about the text material. All right. Scrolling down are activities and assessments. And this is a light week. You don't have a lot of assessments because we're just jumping into it. But chapter 1 we just looked at. Chapter 1 quiz we just looked at. The video activity is Lucy and her parents. And then of course you have the discussion board. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click on that discussion board so you can take a look at it too. With the discussion boards, for whatever reason, you need to have 2 clicks. So there's a second click into the discussion board. And you have here a picture and the prompt. And it gives you an example here. Basically what you've got in the bold tends to be the main question for each discussion board. So always look there. And then below that, I can see that people are already in the discussion boards. Yay! It's good. So just so you're aware, with discussion boards, you will have one every week, particularly because this is an online class. Weeks 13, 14, and 15 are going to kind of blend together with the final paper. We don't need to worry too much about that now, but just so you know, you do have a discussion board every other week otherwise. All right. With discussion boards, please note that they are time sensitive. You must complete them within the Blackboard week. So today is Monday. Our week 2 discussion board opened up today, and it's going to go until Sunday night at midnight. And so within that week, you have, it's basically 7 days minus like 2 minutes in the long run. But within that time, you need to complete your discussion boards. Any attempts to the discussion board after that week will not be accepted. So please be aware, you need to have 3 posts, 3 substantial posts too. And that is within that week that the discussion board is open. And just to highlight for you right there in blue on the screen, you can see those are the directions for each discussion board, and you'll see those with every discussion board that we do over the course of the semester. All right, what else do I need to tell you about? I've got my list here. 2 more things that I want to talk to you about as I have your attention. First of all, texting. And I threw my phone over there because it kept going off on us. You have been receiving text messages from me Today in particular, you might have received some personal text messages from me, namely asking if you're receiving my text messages, but you also received some text messages about office hours. All right. What I have found over the past few years is the easiest way to keep in contact with you guys is to text each other. Email works great, phone works great, but the reality is if you want a quick, fast response from me, text me, because generally my phone is within the room at the very least. All right. So if you are not yet signed up for text messaging, please notify me immediately and we'll get you signed up. I do use a Remind app, and I know a lot of other schools use that app as well. I don't suggest that you download the app, because then what happens is you tend to get messages in duplicate or triplicate. But please note that when you get these messages and it's obvious about this class, that is me. It is really me texting you. And you can feel free to respond to those text messages. I do encourage you to save my number in your contacts so that you can go back later on if you need to find me. Okay. And please note also that while I can text everyone as a group, and I can certainly text you individually, when you text back, you're only texting me. And so if you have a question about your grade, or if you have to set up a meeting, or there's some sort of problem that you want to keep confidential, no one else sees those text messages, only me. All right. The last thing I want to talk to you about is office hours. We're in this weird place with coronavirus, and normally I would be on campus, but you can see I'm in my home office. I am holding office hours 6 hours a week. I am live and sitting here in front of the computer. Those office hours are Mondays and Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then Wednesday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And during those times, I am sitting here and I have an active Zoom link. And you don't have to go to office hours. You're not required to, but it's a great time for us to set up a meeting. It's a great time for you to jump in and ask questions. A lot of times I'm recording videos at the same time as my office hours. So it's a good time to catch me in real time and know that I'm here and I'm really answering, okay? If you do want to join me for office hours, I have included for you a Zoom link in the syllabus page of Blackboard. I also emailed it to you a few days ago. And if you ever lose it, you can always text me and say, hey, I need to meet with you. What's the link for Zoom? All right. I think that's it. I know it's a lot of information, rapid fire, but I want to make sure that you guys have it and you understand exactly what's required of you for this class. So I do want to remind you, I am a real person. I'm here on the other side of the computer. I am talking to you guys and thinking about you guys and making notes and correcting papers. And if you need me, I am here for you. Please, please don't hesitate to text or to email or to call. The phone number I've given you is my office phone. It goes directly to my cell phone anyways, and I will respond. All right, welcome to week 2. I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you online. Thanks.